in a mini clinic, and we get about 30 minutes to take acute cases. I'm here supervising in the student league.
The thing I've loved about studying with Remedy Academy is the community. I've made a lot of friendships along the way, and I love that we get to learn together.
Just feel tightly squeezed in, love needs breathing.
We love you all, and we're dedicated to this probably till our dying day. Thank you, Jean.
And thank you guys.
Root of what went wrong, and we saved people 20 years in a psychologist's office going over the same things. We're still saying it, but just remember, it's the energy that's stuck. And there are different modalities.
They're as in love with it as I am, and we've built a community that I know they will just never be broken apart. It's absolutely that's one of our biggest praise points that I would have for what we have built, and it is how those students hold each other, and then it flows on to how they hold their patients, and it's to be a part of it, and we just have so much fun. Peter says it all the time, if we're not having fun, what's the point?
This is our first TikTok video.
Yeah. I've got to go. I'll call you back. I love you. Love you. Bye.
What do we got? Tell us what we got.
Hey. Well, Dale went and got me a chai latte.
With
oat milk, no sugar.
And I'm on ciggies and cigarettes and cappuccino.
And we drove into, what's this place, Dale?
Glasshouse Mountains.
Yeah, we're in the Glasshouse Mountains, and as soon as we come into the Glasshouse Mountains, the first thing I spotted were certain trees that I love, and I said, Dale, can't you smell them? Anyways, when they smoke cigarettes, they can't smell nothing. Yours truly.
Good smell.
So, no, break one.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's give Dale a good whiff if he can smell this. Break it up.
I can already smell it already.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Myrtle.
Yeah. So.
It's strong.
Yeah. So before I go back, so I'm about to fly out, and yours truly, my escort is Dale Holmes. He's taken me to the airport. We've been here for a very important sustainable living, and I picked these for him. So he doesn't have to buy tea. He can have lemon myrtle to help with his smoking.
So could you bathe in that as well?
Yeah, you can bathe this. So dry some out. Say the word. Ferment.
Ferment.
And
ferment.
And he can.
So what, you dry it out?
But you can use this as tea. So you can actually pick these leaves, give them a good little wash, because we don't know what they're spraying in the skies.
True.
We don't know what they're spraying in the skies. So, as you know, we had a beautiful day yesterday, and then all of a sudden there was these big, giant, pretty lines all through the sky. And look at the cloud today.
And now it's beautiful. Sunny. So yeah, so we just dry them out and just boil it.
Yeah, just pick some nice ones. So these fresh ones you're growing. So all you do is just soak them in boiling water. And give them a wash first, soak them in boiling water, and let it ferment.
Yeah.
And then.
What's it good for?
It's good for your inside. It's good for your stomach. It's a good, just bush medicine. It's good for your stomach, and it's a nice cup of tea. You'd enjoy it.
Smells good.
Yeah, it's actually good for you. And if you wanted to you can make soak them in bath with eucalyptus. If you want to have a eucalyptus bath, get the gum leaves, eucalyptus, chuck a couple of lemon myrtles in the bath, and it smells good.
But
anyway.
So I just want to say thank you to Melissa and all the Remedy team for putting the event on the weekend. I didn't get to actually say thanks or anything like that when I was up there, and I think it's just amazing what they've put together, and they put together like a great weekend with the festival. So it was just really cool. It was cool to like speak to everyone that I got to speak to there, and they're just like a really like vibrant, beautiful, healthy community. It was great. It was so yeah, it was good to listen to all the talks with like Melissa and Peter and Kater and Barney and Cindy and Blair and the other Cindy that I was up there with. And yeah, I just think it'll be amazing to see what they do into the future. And I know like Melissa's obviously a big picture person, and like whatever she puts her mind to on the rest of that team, I can absolutely see it being achieved and then tenfold. So I just want to say thanks, because I didn't get to say anything, didn't get to say thanks on the night. And yeah, if you're not, if you haven't joined Remedy Academy for the training and courses, so that'll be something you might want to consider doing into the future. But yeah, I'll leave all their links below here. And the video coming up is just me and Cindy. We got up in the morning, Cindy's like, we're going. She just wanted to get out, so that's what we did. And we left very early, and we went up to Glasshouse Mountains, and she's like, oh, there's fucking myrtle, lemon myrtle, look at that tree, do you know what that tree is? And I'm like, no, I don't know what it is. So anyway, we stopped off there, and while we're there, we recorded a bit of a video, so I'll just play it here, and people get out of that what they will. And the last one is, yeah, I've been bringing this up a few times, but Cosmic Consciousness event will be around solstice this year, so you can still get tickets for that, and I'll leave that links for that below. And then also we'll be doing the podcast back again starting this week, so I think it'll just be me and Mads to start, and then we'll get some guests on and stuff from them. But yeah, I just want to say it was like a really good weekend. Thank you, Melissa, for hosting me at your house. And yeah, not much else to say. I just they're very inspiring, everything that they've done, and it's I look forward to seeing what they do in the future, particularly around the property and everything else. So I'll leave it at that. Cheers.
Just woken up and we're on the road.
We were a bit groggy this morning, weren't we?
Yeah. Hello.
So I'm here with
I look like Kaka.
I'm here with Cindy. Nevengary, I should say.
Yeah, Garama Bear.
And we're in Glasshouse Mountains. So we just left Sunshine Coast. No, sorry, we're still on the Sunshine Coast.
But
where were we?
I just want to acknowledge the Kabi. Thank you. You have a beautiful country. I just wanted to acknowledge that your country is beautiful. Reminds me so much of home. And it's just, it's good to be on country. It's always good, especially your neighbouring tribes and stuff like that, because it was a last minute decision for me to be here. And because I'm on the clock. I've got to get back for other things, so it was a fly in and fly out job, right?
So thanks for coming. So Cindy came down, was a speaker at the Remedy Festival, which was yesterday that we've just left. So it was very last minute, wasn't it? You were literally at the airport.
Yeah.
Didn't know if you were still coming, trying to ring me, and I actually saw you on TikTok, and I'm like, fuck, I better message you back. So thanks for coming.
Yeah,
so
you're welcome.
I think everyone appreciated you and everyone else that was there.
What
did you think of the area first? Because you said you haven't been there before.
Never been on Kabi country before. I might have passed through, but didn't really didn't know, at the time until I was here, and I just started to just look into and start reading about the country I was on, and then I realised, hey, this is Kabi country, but under, like we all have different tribes, and I think it was the Jinaba or the Amundi. I read a bit of stories about that, and about the Jinaba, and about the, within the areas where we were at, and the story was beautiful about the Marucci, you know, the beautiful woman, and about Kulum, and that it was all about the love story. Ain't that familiar for all of us? And how there was a love story that, you know, and another man stole, you know, Kulum's woman, and you know how the story goes. I think so many love stories that we hear throughout tribes of, you know, men stealing other people's, you know, wives from other tribes, and, you know, and a tribal rivalry and war breaks out over stealing women. And that was the case with this story also with Ninderi. Is it Ninderi? Yeah, I hope I got it right. Forgive me. And Ninderi? Is it Ninderi? Yeah, anyways,
anyway,
he was the warrior that stole the woman that he wanted. And to learn about that story here on their country was, was good. I like to know about, you know, country, and I had a spiritual encounter also, because I went walkabout. But anyways, sorry.
So we were staying like in this beautiful valley, and there's two mountains on either side, and then
it's beautiful.
We were having a talk with Melissa, and she was talking about when she bought the property, she got a visit from a Kookaburra, and she asked for, and then when we were talking about it yesterday, we saw Kookaburra.
Yeah, well, we were talking about the story. It was, she would not take, you know, she didn't want a thing if there was not, she manifested it, and spiritually, and that's what I said. Anything that you manifest or you speak in, you speak it into existence, and what so if there's anything that you don't want in your life, and you don't speak about it, don't speak stuff into existence that doesn't exist, because
or that you don't want it, or you don't want to
bring in. So don't speak it. You know, if you want good things and this is what you want, then only speak them things into existence. Don't speak anything else. You got a lot of negativity in the world, and you know, and you don't need it. You don't need it. There's so much drama on here, on you know, like even social media and TikTok. Oh my God. Sometimes I'm just embarrassed, like by what I see and what people are speaking and seeing on TikTok. It's really an embarrassment, and some of it is an embarrassment for our people. Like, I'm sorry for all those that, you know, like, I don't know, but anyways, I just want to say I apologise for some of the things that have brought discord and disunity and stuff like that. So we're all not like that. Just because one person speaks about, you know, certain things about, you know, can just bring in discord and disunity in this country, and I don't support it. So we're not all like that. So just because one person speaks out doesn't mean that they represent all the nations and tribes of this continent. Is that right, Dale?
Well, yeah, and I think, especially from outsiders looking in, a lot of the time they might say, oh, look, I know one, say, like First Nations person, and this is what, and then they think that that's a universal truth with all, and it's not. Yeah. It's not the case.
Because I love you all.
Well, you did mention that last night too, and you were saying Creator doesn't see colour, and I know you've said that many times. Yeah. And I think it's a good unifying message, because you don't always hear that all the time. And but like I want to know what was your first? What did you feel from the area when you came in? Because I know, like, this is what, when Sydney turns up to a place, she goes missing for a little bit, you don't see her, then she comes back, then you're over hugging a tree, then you're telling me, Dale, how long's it been since but you were really getting a good feel for the place. Like, what did you think energy-wise? Like, what did it feel like when you first came in?
So when was the last time that you hugged a tree? So I asked Dale, because I took Dale for a walk, and I said, when was the last time you hugged a tree?
I can remember, probably 4 years ago.
Yeah, anyways, because I'm a tree hugger. I'm a tree kisser.
An actual, like, literal tree hugger, not just the hippie term tree hugger, an actual tree, So what? I mean, what do you feel about this area energetically? Yeah.
Well, when we first came in, it was beautiful, and then when we woke up this morning, it was like a heavy. I don't know if it's because of you know,
There was a
certain
lot of
things.
energy yesterday too.
Yeah, it was a lot of energy, and but I woke up because I'm not a drinker, I don't drink, and I woke up like I was really, really heavy, and like I was at a night on the grog, and
We both said this morning. I felt the same actually.
and it was really, really heavy. And then because yesterday there was all these pretty, you know, someone was playing crisscross in the sky, and it was all over us. And this is in the Glass Mountains, and it was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe how much they were spraying the skies. And look, I don't know where you're at out there, but don't be ignorant to them poisoning the skies. You know, they're actually doing it, and it's just because they want to control the food source. So when you've got sustainable, you know, living, and people and our farmers and that are all under threat, and we're talking about another alternative of growing foods, and you know, you've got these people out there that don't want, you know, locals growing food, their own food, you know, to, you know, for good, healthy living and for future gens. And you've got these, you know, so the people that are involved in this are all the multi-billion-dollar companies that are, you know, that the local farmers and the small, you know, we should be supporting local, you know, because all the major corporations like Woolies and Coles and that, and all of them, you know, you shareholders of Woolies and Coles, you should be ashamed of yourselves, you know, trying to cut the little man out, you know, that is trying to make a buck and giving the money, you know, so much, like, you know, $1 or whatever it may be for their products. You know, you should be ashamed of yourselves, you shareholders of these major, you know, the food industry, of what yous are doing, oppressing the little man, oppressing the farmers, you know, especially the local growers. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You know, you should be giving them more for their products, because their products are, you know, are even more healthier than what you're selling. You're selling chemicals. You're selling all this shit in your stores that are poisoning the people and making them sick. And then they got to go to the doctors who's giving them more poison, you know, for pharmaceutical, you know, like the pharmaceutical.
Yeah, it's also like the power is in the consumer as well too. And I
so
get,
buy local.
That was like a lot of the message yesterday too. And
Yeah.
it came up about, you know, like, well, it costs more money and all that, but like, you know, if enough numbers do it, the power is in the consumer. But they've just got it locked on every level.
No, because it's all about money, Dale.
Of course.
These corporations don't care. They only care about money. So these you know, if they want to control the food source. So these big corps all want to control the food source of what you can eat and everything like that. But you got to remember, do you want to eat healthy, or do you want to, you know what I mean, eat poisonous foods that are just, you know, processed, got that much chemicals in them, and not good for your children. And this is what Coles and Woolies are selling. We don't even know if the products are from Australia. You know, there's legislations in this country that allows them to sell us poison, you know, that are banned in other countries. You know, look what they're doing with our...
What do you think of what Melissa's done with homeopathy and how big she's spread it with her? Like, what do you think of those guys?
If you women out there, right, it's homeopathy. If you women haven't checked out the website and you're struggling with fertility, I recommend you jump on this program and you join up, because women, hey, we got a friend here. Ready? Hello.
Bush turkey.
Got my book bear. Anyways, there's a little bush turkey. Sorry, Dale, I took over his phone.
That's all right. What do you think of bush turkeys? They're a bit annoying though, aren't they?
No, they're not. They're countrymen. And they got the red, black and yellow.
Well, they do actually, don't they?
Yeah.
What can you tell me? What can you tell me about bush turkeys? They're from
Don't eat them.
They're from your country. Well, I've heard that. I always said, like, if we hit proper Armageddon, at least we got bush turkeys. They'd be pretty easy to catch.
Yeah, but
you don't eat them, do you?
No, I wouldn't.
Do the tribal people eat them ever?
Oh, yeah, they do. You can eat. He's a bird.
Yeah.
You can eat all, you know, but
It just probably wouldn't. it'd
he's
probably
a
be
bird
bit
that
tough,
eats a lot of rubbish.
a lot of crap. So it's
It's like the ibis, you know, the Greek mangoose, they call him. Yeah.
Well, he's getting swooped now.
Yeah, because he's going around looking
Oh,
for.
they're swooping him. What are those little birds? What are those ones?
I don't know, noisy little
Jeez,
mugs.
they're after him. There's like 5 of them attacking
Because they've
him
got
now.
babies there. He's in their territory.
Anyway, so I'll leave a link under here for Remedy if people want to check out Remedy.
It's
so
for
you-
you. Oh, go
I was
on.
just gonna, so people, you can actually because you can buy a lot of their homeopathic kits, but you can also study with them as well too, and that's what they're doing with their academy is they're training up a lot of people, and it's all about self-empowerment too, and taking back your own health as being part of it. So it's pretty cool what they've done.
And there was a lot of really good speakers there last night. There was Blair, there was Cindy, there was what was the doctor name? Was he Peter? Yeah.
Yeah, a homeopath. Yeah.
Yeah, the homeopath.
Kata.
And Kata and her husband Barney define the odds. That man is so amazing. Anyways, and it was really interesting to listen to, because so if you women out there you're struggling with fertility or to fall pregnant, I highly recommend that you visit the homeopathy. Did I get it right?
Homeopathy.
Homeopathy.
Yeah.
I think I got it wrong last night because
It's like fermented.
Yeah. So it is, hey. Anyways, I'm homeopathy, and I'm still learning all this terminologies, because there's always these new names for a lot of things, and so I'm learning a lot of these things, and and I learned a bit more about homeopathy last night, and it's amazing, and the stories of so many women falling pregnant that couldn't have children, and then in a small time frame, they're all bingeal, they're all put, they're all having kids.
Well, it's
amazing.
That's what Peter was talking about last night too. It's not just that it works, but actually how quick, like when they can find the right remedy.
Yeah.
How quick it can work too. So, and he was talking everything from like mental health to acute illnesses to chronic illnesses to like so many different things. And like it's not like, there's so many different modalities out there, but like homeopathy is a great one. But it's good to see communities form as well too. Because remember I was saying last night how, and I think like your people have done this well, and it's been lost a lot in Western society, where I don't think it's not an Indigenous thing or a white. It's a human thing. We're not just meant to be in small groups or just a family. We are community people.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's been probably the downfall in Australia in my lifetime, where like even when I grew up, it was. We're very much community. You'd go to the neighbour's house. Everyone looked after each other in the street. And
you can go and get sugar. Any sugar?
It's in a fear-based society now too, and everyone's more connected than ever through this, but we're more disconnected than ever. But we don't. So it's. I don't know. I don't know how that kind of comes back, but I think like what happened yesterday is like little examples that there's a natural coming back to community that's forming too, and it's coming with people that have got similar interests or that are feeling the call or listening to the earth for themselves, whatever it might be. But like it is coming back as well. Would you say?
Yeah, because there's a reset, whether you want to hear it or not, and it's coming, and you have to be prepared. So history always repeats itself, right? So there is going to be a great reset. And then when that button gets pressed, are you ready? Have you prepared your family for when everything crashes, and tumbles to the ground? And sustainable living is going to be the future, and you have to start now. You have to prepare now. And you've got to, so we're going back to old remedies, with the old ways. We're going back to, natural, to the natural resources, that comes from the land. And in order for that, you have to look after country. So it all comes together. You know, I said this to the people last night, you know, your priority is your children. First and foremost is your kids. And then, you know, and then your community. And then, you know, you got to look after country. Even though country can look after itself, you know, you have to protect it for it to sustain us. And it's really important, you know, that we, and this is why it's so important, because it boils down to all them things of, even as First Nations people, like, you know, us as tribal people of this continent, it's about, you know, living off the land. It's about, you know, protecting country. It's about, you know, about sustainable living. And it's all the same. And this is why we need to be talking about it. And it's so important that, you know, because the foods that the corporations are selling is killing you and your children, your family. You need to change. You need to change, you know, your eating patterns, or your foods is the most important of what you're putting in your body. And that's what's making you sick. So what you're putting in your body and what you're eating or drinking or, you know, smoking. Yeah, Dale. Anyways, so
hey,
what you're smoking is what you're putting in your body is, you know, and that's what's killing you. You know, me, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, you know, and
So you tell me today you really live off like fruits, humane sustenance.
Yeah. So,
but you're in a high humidity tropical climate when you're up in Darwin too. So you're eating naturally what is.
We go.
Well,
we go hunting.
Right? You go hunting.
So we go hunting. Look, the other night before I came, you know what I had for dinner? I had angani. I had goose. You know, one of my sisters went out, her and her family, they went out hunting, and I had goose for dinner. So I prefer to live off the land than go and shop in Woolies and Coles or buy their poisonous.
Goose is good,
you
right?
know, or their fake meat.
Got a lot of fat. Goose has got a lot of good fat, right?
Yes, that's what I love about, and the
Good
bun.
for your brain. They keep you sharp, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've ever had goose.
When you come Darwin.
Well, didn't we almost run over some this morning? What were they?
And
what were those things? I almost ran. And we saw the.
They're little guinea fowls.
Oh, right.
They're guinea fowls. And you know, when I get back home, you know what we're doing? We're going hunting. We're going to get some bullocky. We're going for killer. We're going to get our own meat. I'm talking about not Goodman. I'm talking about cargo. I'm talking about cow. So we're going out to get our own, you know, clean skin, our own scrubber. And because we just can't trust Woolies and Coles with the meat that they're selling, because there's chemicals in the meat. There's chemicals in all the foods. There's chemicals, and you know, and you don't know how long their foods have been in storage. When you take it home, it's off the next day. You don't know how long the bread's been sitting, and the bread has got so much, you know, chemicals in it. It's not funny, and it's killing you. Stop eating bread from these. It's not good for you. Don't eat bread. I
don't think you should eat bread at all. Like any type of bread.
Unless you're getting the right ones. You know, the right wheat, well, not so much wheat, but if you're, you know, sort of doing it yourself, you know, growing, and it's not, you know, not chemical grown or whatever it may be.
What was the natural wheat that come from Bundjalung?
The kangaroo.
Wheat.
Yeah.
What would you?
And
what is it? Kangaroo flour or something?
Yeah, so the seeds on certain grasses, native grass, that you can
grind them up.
Yeah. And they destroyed a lot of that and they knew that it was actually, that you can make bread from it.
Well, where I'm from, you can actually see, it's just outside of Castlemaine.
Yeah.
Near Mount Franklin, and you can see in the ground where they used to roll them, it's still there.
Yeah.
And they got the water wells with it. They used to have the little yellow yam daisies.
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
No.
And the same thing, they would grind them into
down south.
To make damper.
This is down
in Victoria. But yeah, that's right, and they still grow.
Yeah.
But a lot of them did get, a lot of that species got wiped out. But they're still there.
But that's a yam. So
yeah,
there's yams, you know, throughout country in different places. You know, people eat yams and everything like that. But I've never had a yam from Victoria, and So I never really followed that way, even though that, you know, I'm part, you know, my mum is Bundjalung. That's my grandfather's country. And my dad is Yorta Yorta. So I'm Bundjalung and Yorta Yorta, but I don't follow that way, and I never got taught that way down, you know, Yorta Yorta way.
And then you're up Darwin too. That's probably why you're talking about the boomerang, because you basically cover the continent anyway.
The golden boomerang.
Or the East Coast. Anyway.
If anyone knows about the golden boomerang, if you know, you know.
Hey, what were you... So
No?
remember you were talking yesterday about... You were talking about the East Coast. When we were talking about the song lines going up the... What were you saying yesterday about the East Coast? Oh, no, that's about the crocodile.
Yeah.
Crocodile spirits.
The guardians.
Do you want to tell me about that?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that or not?
We were just talking
You
about...
say what you want.
We were just talking about the guardians. So up the coast, from a certain point, everybody has a crocodile. They have the saltwater crocodile dreaming and story. It's even in Bundjalung country, because if you ever been to Black Rock, that's where it starts. There's a story there. So, and all the guardians, as you travel up the coastline, right? Because our creation, anyways, that's another story in itself. But as you travel all the way, which I have, I've met many tribes, and I've travelled all the way up to the top. And I've met a lot of people along my journey, and we've shared a lot of stories. And when we were, so I had a spiritual encounter when I went to Yarrabah, and that is when I learnt about there was a whale dreaming, and because of it was just
Where's
that at Yarrabah.
Where's Yarrabah?
Far North Queensland. Anyways, and it was really, really, so I had a spiritual encounter at Yarrabah, and then as I went further up the coastline and everything like that, it was just beautiful. But I had the spiritual encounter with the guardians, and the guardians are watching over, but they're all facing the same direction.
She said
From
they're all
the way,
facing out the Pacific Ocean, out east.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm just letting you know that I've got this one little fly that is just, go to Dale. Anyways, he's tormenting me.
No,
He's
tormenting me
go to Dale. Anyways, so the guardians are all facing out east, out towards the ocean. I'm just letting you know that the guardians, when they shared with me spiritually, they said, watch the ocean. So whatever's coming is also coming from the ocean. So I just wanted to share that message with you to let you know that whatever's forthcoming.
From the East Coast, you mean? The ocean?
It's coming from the water.
From the
So
water.
it's coming from the east. So whatever's out there, and as you know that in Bundjalung country, in one of our stories is, you know, the fight about the big, about the Didawong, and, you know, the rainbow, the Yumba, the fight about the Goanna, and, you know, the rainbow snake. And the rainbow snake was chased out to the ocean. Just remember that the rainbow snake has to return. It's a part of the story. So the rainbow snake has to return. There will be the return of the rainbow snake.
So hang on, in the story that the snake or the serpent is chased out to the ocean.
So all the guardians.
And is that like a water spirit? And was chased out by what? The goanna?
The Didawong, the great Namal spirit.
Which is that the goanna or a crocodile?
Yeah. No, the goanna.
The goanna.
So the great Didawong is the great spirit of the Namal, and the Namal is the goanna, and the great spirit of the goanna is the Didawong, and the Didawong, they fought and they pushed the rainbow snake out to the ocean, but the rainbow snake has to return.
It has to return.
So it's got to come back, and when it does come back, it's coming from the ocean. And all the guardians are on alert. They're all watching out, and they're all facing the same direction, from the far north Queensland, from the top all the way down. you know, the east coast of Australia. I don't know further beyond my country if they have got that, you know, but they're guardians. I don't know their stories, but I just know from what I've experienced and what I've been told. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. So whatever's coming is coming from the ocean.
Would there be any relation to that returning from the ocean is because of, say, law being broken over time?
No, I don't.
Or is
I
it
do
just
not.
a natural,
I don't
just
know.
has to return?
It has, and it will return because
Just
the
a
guardians.
cycle.
Yeah. So I don't. I you know, when spirit speaks, Dale, you know, I don't know everything.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'm only given so much, and it's to just let the people know. You know, I'm just a messenger. I can't foresee any more than what they give me, you know, or, you know, I can only share what they've given me to share to the people and tell the stories. A lot of people out there, they're saying, oh, you shouldn't be talking. Look, when I'm told by Spirit and by the Creator and that to share something, I will share it because it's not to be withheld. You need to be preparing the people. And a lot of things have been lost because we have not shared it. How are you meant to, you know, hand things down if everything is contained anymore?
Yeah.
We have to be sharing. We have to be telling the stories.
Well, do you know, there's this African...
To a certain extent.
There's this
some you
African
can't
tribal
talk about.
leader, he's
Yeah.
Zulu,
Mm.
and he got in a lot of trouble from his tribes because he was an initiated man and he held a lot of knowledge, and
Yeah.
he started putting it into books
Yeah.
because he said there was stuff coming that he said, I'm not keeping it with my tribe, that this needs to be shared with the world.
Yeah,
So
well,
is it similar?
one of my great-great-grandfathers, right, he read and I've read it, and I've got it, and he read a story because they asked him, why was you teaching, you know, the Australians, you know, or, you know, it's sort of hard because, you know, Australians, you know, they're my family. Our people and Australian people have been through a lot together in this country. And as far as I'm concerned, they're my fellow Australians, but they're also my family. Because, yeah, they built a relationship, and a lot of the Australians have helped our people fight for the rights that we as First Nations people have in this country, because, you know, you need the numbers. And they stood beside our people fighting for our rights, land rights, and all of that in this country. Now, I don't hear many talk about it, but it's a truth. Many thousands of Australians have stood beside our people and fought for our rights in this country.
You only hear one, like, it's only like it's all oppression, or it's, you know, do you know what I mean? There's no... So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, but going back, what was we talking about? Going back? I just forgot because I just went off track again. Yeah.
You were talking about...
Yeah.
I've lost it now.
Oh, yeah, me too. But anyway,
Well, no, okay, so
that's a blank. They probably remember. You will know, but we forgot.
Well, no one will listen back.
Tell me.
Do you know, one question I got? So you said about the guardians being the crocodile spirit.
Yeah, because you have the watchman, right? You have to have you got the watchman and the guardians and all of that, and they're the protectors of country. They're watching over country, the people. So you have our watchmen, you have our guardians. You know, we are living in an unseen world. Whether or not there is an unseen world you're living in, and those who can see it and who are gifted, you know what I'm talking about. And it's a gift that's handed down not by man, but by the ancestors, by Creator, because it's actually the ancestors who chooses. You know,
So
it's not a gift given by man.
Is there any landmarks
chosen
on the
by man.
East Coast too that show this story with the guardians, in particular the crocodile?
If they've been given them stories and they know about these stories, then they should be sharing it too. You know, I can only share the knowledge.
So that's what we were saying. We're talking about sharing.
Yeah.
Whether you should share or not. And do you feel, well, if you're being given visions and you are like a visionary in the way that you see things. Now, what's the point in that, even from a law perspective, if you keep that to yourself? What's the point in knowledge if it's only kept within you?
Look, I don't prior in, you know, stuff like, men's business.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so...
And there's points of initiation.
Can I just finish? So, like men's business. You know, I will talk about... I can say men's business. But I can't talk about their business, you know? And but if they want to make it public on social media about, you know, men are saying, oh, you know, talking about women's business and blah, 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 and then men talking about men's business on social media and exposing stuff to, you know, a certain extent, we know where to draw the line when it comes to that, you know, what you can and can't talk about. But I don't go out there talking about men's business, you know, like I'm talking about men's business. I'm not talking about just we're talking about men's.
Not what I wasn't, because obviously there is stuff that like...
I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah. And you're just talking in theme when if you're having a vision of something that you think is occurring or what's happening with the land.
Yeah.
That's you can share that.
Because it's spirit.
Yeah.
When spirit is talking to me to give a message to the people, especially when you talk about when you've lost the balance of creation, because no one wants to talk about Mother Creator, and no one wants to, you know, because we had a mother and a father that brings the balance of, you know, life. And it's a feminine and a masculine world. And we, good morning. And we have a mother and a father, Creator. And the great Creator Spirit is above it, you know. And Creator Spirit is no gender. This is where I struggle biblically with their teachings, is because culturally the Creator Spirit is not male nor female. So how can you call the Creator a male when Creator Spirit...
biblical perspective, it's always father,
son.
Yeah.
What if it's mother, daughter, Holy Spirit? But the point that I'm making is that that's where I struggle. I struggle because I know that the Creator Spirit is spirit, not woman, not man. And then Creator created mother and father, Creator of creation, which is all our ancestors of creation, of the lands, you know. And we have our creators. And this is where I struggle biblically to understand it, because that book don't belong to my people. That's not our story. That book belonged to another country, to a Arab country, or to a, you know, an African nation. But it don't belong to us, mob. We have our own stories for this country. And they introduced the Bible to more or less oppress my people, to enslave my people, and to tell them don't practice these things anymore. But we're allowed to do it. You know, we want to know about the spiritual realm. We want to know how you go through, or how you enter portals, or how you travel, you know, and how you telepathically, or, you know, they wanted to know about all these things. They experimented on our people. They stole all this knowledge. They wanted to know about it, and they practice it today, and they tell us that it's evil if we do it.
Yeah, they took it for the secret societies and took it underground.
That's exactly right. They stole knowledge from around the world. Cultural, tribal knowledge.
Shit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So they told my people that we couldn't do this, don't go there, don't practice, you know, your language. You wasn't allowed to practice your culture. You know, you wasn't allowed to do anything like that, or you were flogged, or you were beaten, or you were killed. And this is what they did to my people. And, you know, this is why I call it the time lapse. So there was a period in time where they did the removal of the children in this country, right? So they removed all our children, and I call it the time lapse. I call it the missing, because there's a missing time frame. This time is missing. From the time that they took the children away, you got a time frame up to nearly 16 to 20 years of nothing. So where is all of that? So there is a gap from the time that they removed the children up until now. And they call it the stolen generation, right? But all that knowledge was stolen. That's a time that memory was lost. It was lost. So you see what they done? They did that deliberately. So we can forget who we are as a people, you know? But they forgot one thing. Spirit never dies. everything is handed down spiritually. And that is why I've been given these gifts, you know, and, you know, even in my own family, like, you know, not so much my immediate, but even in my own family, you know, with, they will never understand me because, you know, when you're being given certain things, because I believe in my culture more than anything, you know, and I love my culture. I love it. I love practicing culture. I love, you know, I want to eat it. I want to drink it. I want to sleep in it. I want to everything in it. And many of my people don't understand me is because I'm not like them. I live differently. I listen unto spirit, you know, more than I listen to the noise. I prefer to listen. That was a magpie. He's trying to swoop. Where did he go?
He's over there.
Did you see that?
Yeah, no, it's probably on the camera.
He just come to tell me.
But Cindy,
stop.
do you know what you're
That was
saying?
spirit.
Do you know what you're saying? And this is
If he come again,
everywhere.
yeah, there's magpies here. Is it wind?
Yeah, it's gone. It's over there. We're been in a point of amnesia.
Yeah.
And I feel you and many others are a manifestation of like the ending of that amnesia.
Mm.
And it's what you said. It's basically spirits working through to bring what is there back into conscious awareness.
Yes.
Because that's what it's the stolen generation. Because you said the knowledge.
That's why I'm here. And look, to be honest, many people will never understand me, and I don't really care because I know that I'm a spirit woman, and I prefer to live in spirit and under the spirit and guided by the spirit, you know, more than anything else. And this is just me. You may call me what you want, and you may call me, oh, she's a nut job, but I'll tell you what, I remember when I was in my community and I was going around and I was just speaking language and I was living on the land and everyone saying, she's gone mad. No, I wasn't. I actually found my way. I found the truth. I found my way. And I knew that living off the land and being connected to the land, the water, the sky, the trees, the animals was more important to me than anything else. And that is why I'm different. Because I prefer to live that life speaking to the trees and speaking to the land and speaking to the water and speaking to the animals and having them all guide me and practicing all these things that we are able to do, you know, is magical. You wouldn't but it's powerful, spiritually powerful. You know, when you find that you are capable within to do things that are unseen in this world today, it's phenomenal. Say that word.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. See? I can't speak proper English sometimes. Broken English here. Can't speak their big words or whatever. That's a lie. But they got all these words. I don't like the English language, so if I can learn more,
isn't it?
Yeah, if I can learn more of my own language, and you know, is better. That's why I like praying in language. That's why I like speaking as much as I can. I like reading about my language. I like, you know.
English is hard to, I mean, I only know English, but it's hard to express yourself when you're looking for the right word.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a lot of the time?
Well, sometimes I pause,
yeah.
You know, because I'm looking for that. Because I don't.
You speak quite soft and gentle, but then you speak with a lot of power too.
Yeah.
And it's also the tone in your voice.
I remember when I was in WA and we had to go over there against the No campaign, right? Against the Voice.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Against the Voice to Parliament, I started the No campaign. Anyways, so
you pretty much did, didn't you? I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, so I went to that one with you in Lismore. You were in Lismore?
Anyways, when we went to WA, I went over there in spirit, and there was Max Freedom, and he did a recording of me, and I went over there and I was in spirit. But something happened when I hit when it was my turn to speak. I felt the Creator speak and said, fire. And I was like, the only way that I could win the people is that I had to let the fire unleash, because they didn't want to hear a little soft, spiritual woman come up on a podium.
It's different energy. You got to bring the passion. The passion comes
And
out.
then I was going to just come out and just pray with the people, and then Spirit spoke, and it just changed. And everyone said to me when I was finished, "What happened?" And I was like, "I don't know." Just a fire just filled my belly, and even language. Like I said, "Can I swear?" And they said yes. And that's when I told the government to F off. And it was like, you know, we will not be, you know, drawn into this trap. I don't know if you know what that referendum was really about, even to my people out there, but if you don't, you know, I'm only a phone call away. Well, I don't really have any apps or phones, but this is my phone. So don't send me no big love letter and messages, because this is all I got, and I'm not on, I got a broken phone that I use just for emails. And this is it. That's my life. Anyway.
I thought that was a remote control. Well,
remote control.
So,
goodbye.
I mean, we were talking in the car before about the, in Victoria too, because they're pushing through these treaties now with a fake corporation government with a fake corporation Aboriginal co-op. So you're making a treaty between these two. So anyway, this is starting to go ahead, even though they knocked back the federal referendum, so they're just pushing it through the states, and the real power is actually with the states anyway. If you go off the constitution, and that's a whole other debate. But anyway, it's kind of hallmark for me that they're very frantic, and it's like, if it failed at that level, and that they are insistent that this absolutely must go ahead, why? Why is this so important? Not just for Australia.
This is my topic.
The whole world takeover, that they need these fucking treaties. Why is this so? It seems like they cannot let this elapse. It must happen for them, right? So tell me.
So the reason why they needed that referendum, right? It was for New World Order, One World Government. How I know this? I have documents. Anyways,
so it's not just for Australia, is it? It's far greater than
It's bigger
Australia.
than that. So they wanted to become they wanted their one world government established upon this continent. And the Labor government was pushing it. And they're still pushing it. So because they failed in the referendum, how to override the Australian people through the Constitution now, because they never got what they wanted. So what they needed, right? So how they can override how can they override the Australian people? Buzz. They need a treaty with First Nations to override the Australian people, you know. So
hang on, I'm just going to stop you because I'm worried it might run out.
So the reason why the government, because they lost the referendum. So because they lost the referendum, the only way they can override the Constitution and override the Australian people, because you need the Australian people to give the consent for their Constitution to be altered. So because the Constitution belongs to the Australian people, and in order for them to alter the Constitution, you have to hold a referendum to give that, you know, consent. And because the Australian people said no, it wasn't that they were racist, is they were concerned because we didn't have enough information. And I was speaking the truth, and I was blacklisted. So I was blacklisted. I wasn't allowed to speak out. I was blacklisted from many radios, stations, TV, everything. Everyone.
They didn't want to hear your voice.
They didn't want to hear my voice. 100%.
They could hear people.
110,
they could hear the
20,
no
30.
voices that were cutting the surface level of why it was no, but yours was. They didn't want to hear you.
They didn't want to hear me. So, and that is why they've gone right. So they lost the referendum. So in order to override the Constitution and the Australian people, what did the government need for their one world government agenda? Is that they can override it if they can treaty with First Nations. But the thing about that
So
is
this
that
is the next tactic. What
Yes.
failed first that they never intended.
Yes.
Now they've had to go to
yeah,
this.
but this is where our people are falling for the trap. Our people are actually walking into, you know, and it'll be what's the word for it? Anyways, there we go with them words. But anyways, our people are walking straight into their trap. And they don't even realise it. They think that they're
treaties can
giving
only
us...
be between a sovereign and a sovereign, right?
Yeah, and
So automatically the treaties
it's
fucking
null and void.
Anyway.
Null and void.
But it doesn't matter. They
It
play
holds no
they play
validity.
this charade
Yes.
at that level to still try and usurp it anyway. Do you know
So
what I mean?
because the state, right, the state of Victoria, right, is a corporation, right? So they're a corporation.
And so is the Aboriginal co-op usually, because they're not an actual tribe that's trading with them. It's these
Another corporation.
Aboriginal corporations. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't really know that side of it, but all I know is this, right? A treaty can only be between sovereigns to sovereigns, not with corporations, because they're dead entities. So that means that they hold no validity when it comes to, because corporations change hands all the time. So who are you treatying with? So because people are in and out of power, they get, you know, pushed out. A new body, a new person comes in. You don't know. So who are you treatying with when you got corporations like government, right? The Australian corporation, the government is an Australian corporation, right, that is running this country. And the thing about that is that how can you treaty with a corporation if they're not sovereign? So the difference with the New Zealand treaty is that the New Zealanders treated, the old people in New Zealand treated with the imperial crown, the imperial Queen Victoria, where, wait there, Dale, I know he's got something on his lips.
No.
So there's a big difference where they treated directly with sovereigns. So it was sovereign to sovereign. Victoria never got that.
So that is
Victoria,
a legitimate treaty in New Zealand.
It's an illegitimate process, and it's fake, because you can't treaty, you know, the people can't treaty with the corporation, because a corporation is a dead entity. It's non-living. You can only treaty sovereign to sovereign, people to people, you know, tribe to tribe, nation to nation, you know, clan to clan. But you can't treaty with a corporation. Holds no validity. It's legal fiction. Straight up.
So when they did this whole thing, they said they wanted voice, treaty, truth. That was the three things.
They're lying, and there's no truth in it.
No, exactly. But so now, and the voice was written by this Mark Liebler,
Yes.
this Jewish
Yes.
solicitor.
Yes.
And then he just went and took Nova Peris Kneebone over to Israel just recently at Rabbi Shmuley's event. This other guy who's, you know.
Yeah.
So how did we have an Australian voice? And they say this is the Indigenous voice, and it's written by a Jewish solicitor that's running, like, what is going on?
Yeah, because they have a world
But
agenda.
they don't even try and hide it. And then, like, to see Nova Peris going over there, that's pretty.
They have tried to hide the agenda, but it's been exposed. So now they have to explain themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, and they can't, because they've been lying to the people for so long. You've all been lied to, you know, including our people, like, across this nation. Everything that the government is telling us is a lie, you know. So I bet you any money that the government, the Victorian government, are laughing at the blackfellas in Victoria because they have an hidden agenda, and they got what they wanted, you know. So I wouldn't believe. I believe that there would be some fine print in there, and you know, it'd be great to see the whole entire document of the treaty process, or of the treaty document, without, you know. I want to see. It would be interesting to see the legal technicalities in it and what's been written. You know, and what's been written by government. The government have got their side of the treaty. I wonder if everyone's read their contract as everyone read the treaty contract. So if you was to bring them together, do they align? Do they agree? Is there something hidden? Is there an hidden agenda? I wouldn't be surprised with the Victorian government, because this is where I believe that this is just my opinion, you know, for what's that things that they say, for purposes. You know how they give them. Anyways, so entertainment purposes. This is just for entertainment purposes. So what I believe, in my own opinion, is that now that they've got a treaty, they're going to try to, through Victoria, right, they're going to try to push that treaty to get all the other people, all the other nations and tribes, right, lure them in to treaty with them, because you know why? Because then Victoria becomes the head of state. The government have now got a treaty in this country. You know, they can create their one world government with this. They can create their new world order with this. So what they did, that the treaty blackfellas will become the elite, the Aboriginal elite body, right, for the rest of the country, if they wanted to go down that road. So what they're actually doing is that if the Europe Commission comes in and say, oh, we need all these other nations and tribes to come and treaty with us now, then you just contracted everything of your country unto them to become our government, our one voice.
Well, that would
become
kind of the thing with the voice.
Victoria can become your voice to the rest of my people out there. You want to be careful. You want to be careful what you're doing. Don't contract. So if the Victorian, sorry, Dale, if the Victorian blackfellas push their treaty out for other nations and other tribes to join them, be careful, because.
So you're saying when it goes state, they're trying to make these fake treaties from state to state.
No, they won't need it. They got a treaty with blackfellas now. They got one treaty. So what they're going to do is they're going to use that one treaty to bring in all the rest of them for this one body to speak for all the nations and tribes of this country.
Yeah.
So they don't need to treaty with anybody else. If they got one, they're going to try to find a way where all the other nations and tribes, you know, that this will be the one voice. That's why I won't mention any names, but that's why certain people are pushing this, because they want to be, you know, the government. They want to be, you know, the overall power over all, you know, the nations and tribes of this continent. And are we going to allow it? No. So Victoria does not speak for all the other nations and tribes upon this country, upon this continent. Let's make that clear. Victoria only speaks for Victoria. They do not have consent to speak for other nations and tribes, and neither does the Europe Commission. Europe Commission only speaks for Victoria. They don't speak for all the other nations and tribes in this country. So if the government has an agenda to push, you know, this one body to be the national representative body, you know, over this country, then you got another thing coming, you know. You're going to cause a lot of ruckus and a lot of, division in this country amongst our people, you know. So if you got that on your mind, you better scrap it, because it's not right and it's an evil agenda. So you do not speak for us.
And the other bad thing too is it actually turns white Australia on Aboriginals too, when they're starting to do these things where I've seen the planning documents in some of these towns, and they're going to cut off waterways, national parks, all these different things, and they're going to use the guys that we've had this treaty and that we're protecting the land. Do you know what I mean? And this is going to build towards more resentment. Eventually, I don't think it's going to fall by the wayside like everything else in here. It's like we're
going into the you know, if the Australian government under the Labor, right, they're pushing everything in their power.
They're going hard.
Yeah, right. The Labor government cannot be trusted. I don't trust any of them. I don't trust the Greens. I don't trust Labor. I don't trust the Libs. Any of them. I don't trust none of them. I don't trust One Nation. I don't trust none of them, because at the end of the day, they're all getting paid by your money. It's all about protecting their pockets, you know, to keep your money and keep their business as politicians running in this country. So they're going to do everything, even the minor parties.
A lot of people are seeing it for what it is right now. It is a different time. Like but
it's all your money, Australia. It's all your tax-paying money that's keeping these pollies. Until you stop paying taxes in this country, you all whinge and complain about paying taxes. They're stealing our tax. Well, stop paying taxes. You know, even Victoria. You know, you're complaining about Victoria with the treaty and how much it's costing. Well, stop paying taxes. Then they wouldn't have any money for the fucking treaty.
Simple.
Simple.
Tax is theft. Isn't
Yes.
It is.
And it's illegal in this country. There's nobody. No one gave this government. It's not even in your constitution. Even though that we're not under your
they
constitution.
They brought in World War I to pay for the war and they never got rid of it.
Yes, that's all it's about. It was about paying for war, and they seen that they were making money from it, and
they're not going to let that up once again.
And then here we are. You're still paying taxes.
Anyway,
you know.
Let's finish on a positive note. Cindy,
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to run out of data.
Okay. I'm sorry, Dave. I was going to run out of
There's
data.
good. See, now Cindy is a water woman, but there's the fire's in there too, right? You're actually both elements.
Yeah. So there's times that there's a season for everything. You know, there's a season, you know, when you're in spirit. There's a season when you're in peace. There's a season,
Season
know,
of fire.
season of fire. You know, there's all these elements, and we carry them. And there's a time when I'm on fire, you know, for the people. And but I just want to say to everyone, you know, like, I love our country, and I think we all do. And we have to work together. That's why this is my banam. This is my banam. See, this is my brother, and we work together as a team. And that's why we don't like division in this country, because he's my fellow Australian, and I'm his, you know, I'm his sister. He's my banam, you know, my nana, my brother, my banam. We're brothers and sisters, and it's not about, you know, your colour. It's like, because you can have your, you know, I was told this, not all your family comes by blood, but comes by spirit. So that's why you should never look at one by the colour of their skin, you know, because Creator Spirit sees no colour, you know, and this is where we need to stop judging one another. You know, we all live together on this continent, and we need to share. We need to, you know, we need to be having, you know, peaceful conversations around the table, you know, about the future of this country, especially for sustainable living. When the Great Reset, when the system crashes, the Great Reset button is hit, you best be ready. So we need to be preparing our families. You know, your priority is future generations. It's our children. So let's work together. You know, because our fight is not against one another. Our fight is against governments. That's where your battle is. It's not against one another. It's not against us. We're family.
Do you know, I think too, Sydney, beautifully said. It's the land too that's what's calling, and actually what is uniting everyone here. I feel too.
Yeah.
So I think the more people get in tune with that, they can see the actual unity between people. It's the land is the missing connection that unifies.
Yeah, and that's why my people, my brothers and my sisters, it's time to stomp the land. It's time to bring back the corroborees. We need our corroborees, because it awakens, it activates, and it awakens the ancestors, and we need them now. So how about let's start singing and dancing again, and let's start dancing more and more and more and more and more, and bring back the corroborees, you know? And we don't want to lose that, because that's the activation, you know, of awakening our ancestors. Even though that I'm always traveling through country and I'm always singing them and calling them up, you know, and we need to. Everywhere you go, you sing them up, you call them up, and let them walk with you. And I do that a lot. That's why, can I tell one story before we go?
Yeah.
I was down in Newcastle one time. I got to tell you this story. And while I was down in Newcastle, I was invited to a spiritual expo. Anyways, I went to this expo, and there was these people that were doing a reading, and they were like, Cindy, would you like a reading? I was like, yes. Anyways, so they were like, you got to pick someone. And it was like, okay. Anyway, so I went through this list and I went by spirit and I was like, I'll pick this one. Anyways, I ended up meeting this little lady. She had little, I think it was red or purple hair. Anyways, and she was very bright. Anyways, and I sat down with her and she was like, oh, and I was like, anyways, I was like, are you okay? Can you see something? Anyways, and she was like, you didn't come alone. And I was like, I know, tell me about it. Anyways, and because I never travel alone. They're always with me. And I know this. So wherever I'm present, they are present with me because of whom I work for. I don't work for me. I don't serve me. I work for the Creator and I serve my ancestors. That lady, she's seen them and it put fear in her as a reader, and because she felt uncomfortable with reading. So I just wanted to share that story with you, but it ended up being a good thing in the end. And she felt, I made her feel more relaxed and everything like that, but she picked it up, and so did all the other readers in the room. They're all looking at me like, what did you bring with you? And it was like, my ancestors have got my back. So they got a taste of, a lot of things that, But I already knew they were with me. I just wanted to see if they could pick it up, and they did. But anyways, I don't know if they seen them spiritually. I don't know if they showed themselves to them, but it was a great feeling. I was just proud because I knew they were with me. I just wanted to see if they could see them, and they did. So cheers to them. But anyways, we got to go.
Thanks.
We got a plane to catch.
I'll post this tonight.
Yeah, okay. Got my book. Don't put that bit in there.
Seems like everybody's
okay, my brother. We love you. Love you, Australia. Love you,
every side, but somehow we stay invisible, 'cause the magic is inside. I need a picture to remember this by, 'cause memories can die so fast. It doesn't have to be a daydream. We started something that can last. Can you feel the night coming out of nowhere in the lights? I want you to be there. Breathe it in the air. It's everywhere. It calls from all around. I want to share it all with you. Take it while it's so strong, and all along the shadow fight, we're reaching out to
This year, we have the most powerful lineup in the history of the Cosmic Consciousness Conference. Potent, dynamic and passionate facilitators. They're not here to perform. They're here to serve you, to expand your growth, to raise your consciousness. Between them they have centuries of combined mastery, and together at Tambourine Mountain they're one unified field, all to help raise the frequency of humanity. Light workers, we came here for this. The shift is accelerating. Revelation is peaking. What happens next is in our hands. If there's one thing you do this year to invest in yourself, let this be it.